can you please introduce yourself to the audience and talk about yourself a little bit?
I'm originally from the Philippine Islands, and I came here when at my early years. I've been living here in the United States for 27 years to be exact. And I my first job when I first came here, I was a janitor, and I didn't have a way to go to college. Actually, I came here as an immigrant, and we only have like $50 in our hand when I was with me and my mom and my sister when we first immigrated, and I worked right away as fast as I could to get a job as a janitor. But I wanted to go to college, but I couldn't afford to go to college. So the only way I could able to achieve that American dream is to join the U.S. military.
Great. Okay. Um, how long have you been a disabled veteran?
Say it again.
How long have you been a disabled veteran?
I've been diagnosed as disabled veteran as early as around, let's say, around 1998. So I joined the military in 1991, but it was like a mild disability, but it got more worse when I went to war in Iraq. So I was like fully diagnosed with several disabilities around 2013. So from 2013 to 2018, that's 5 year officially disabled. I'm considered as a combat disabled veteran.
Okay. As a person with a disability, how has the current climate affected you personally?
Um, well, personally, of course, you've been in combat, you experience trauma. You're fighting for your life and you're hoping that you'll stay alive when you come back here in the US. And I'm very fortunate to make it. Some of my colleagues didn't. And personally, I'm being treated for the PTSD. Well, that's what they call it. And I'm having occasional nightmares. So personally, it's like a battle uphill. But with the Veterans Administration, they're very supportive. They're giving me treatment and they're available whenever they can. So I'm able to have access with the healthcare. So that's a good aspect. Uh, I'm kind of leery or kind of careful who I tell this that I have a disability, because especially like if it's like my fellow classmate or professional peers, it could, like, if I want to apply for employment, that could uh, give them a stigma that's saying, oh, he's a disabled veteran, he might be a crazy guy, so maybe not give him a job. So I'm kind of careful on that aspect. Well, only like certain people that I really trust that I say that I have this kind of disability and other physical disabilities as well.
Do you believe your current disability of PTSD has affected your academic studies in any way?
Yes, indeed. Prior to this, prior to being fully diagnosed with PTSD, I have a short, I mean, not short, I have a good memory. They say photographic memory. But after that, I kind of lost my memory, and I used to be very good in academics, but then after being diagnosed with PTSD, I'm kind of academically being challenged, and I need more time in taking the tests. And I applied to the campus, being a disabled veteran, to give me more time when I take the test. So academically, yes, it did. It did affected me. I'm not as able to obtain information, and it's, for me, it's, everything's fast, and I have to take more time to study.
Do you feel your overall health and well-being has been affected by your PTSD?
Yes, it did. And before I was a lot healthier, but now it's not only like a mental health issue, but physical issues as well. That's affected me with this disability as well. So I'm not only having a mental disability, but also physical disability as well.
Okay. As a veteran,
Yeah.
have you experienced any microaggressions regarding racism or xenophobia in any way on or off campus? If so,
Um, Not on campus. On campus, the people are very.
yeah.
Actually, we have veteran counselors. That's full-time employee there in our campus. So the campus is very supportive with the veterans, but being in the Bay Area, I would say yes, because I think the Bay Area is a bit more like less supportive of the military. And I remember one time I was wearing my uniform, and then I was walking by in Oakland, and there was like a guy that was driving in a truck, and he stopped by and he gave me the middle finger, and then say basically said "F you, baby killer." So what do I have to do with that kind of thing? Why? That's more like a Vietnam era, but it's still the stigma is still there. So that kind of incident happened to me. So I've experienced that kind of discrimination, and uh, professionally, I was interviewed in a job by one of those big four companies, and they advertise that, oh, we support the military, we would like to hire the military, the veterans, and everything. But then when they interviewed me, I was interviewed for 3 hours actually, and I thought I got the job. They liked me, and then finally I received a notice that I didn't get the job, and then I would like to know why I didn't get a job. I would ask I called the HR, and kind of ask them, please give me a feedback. Maybe I could do better in my interview, and please. And then they said that, no, we thank you for your service. We thank you for your military leadership and what you did for your country. But we don't want to set you for failure. You lack the corporate experience. So that's the reason why we could not hire you. So I was like in a state of shock, But then you see they're trying to promote. Oh, we hire veterans. We thank them for their service. They have skills and everything, but yet it never does. So there's definitely not only like racial discrimination, but like that kind of discriminatory happening, and also like age discrimination as well. So that's what I experienced so far. And in regards about, like, let's say, discrimination factor, I would say, I guess I could say certain in the campus, in a certain sense I did. What they do is like they don't say anything in now. It's like they call it the subtle discrimination, where they don't necessarily say those words like the N word or something like that, or the C word. Like they don't say you, hey chink, or hey N, something like that, or hey wetback or something. But what they would do is like they would isolate you. They would not. They will make sure that you're not included in the group. They don't make you feel welcome. And when you're like, there's a school gathering, they ensure that you're not part of the group. You're not welcome. Only like this, their group that, like the Caucasian, especially the Caucasian, they just a bunch of them, but they will just ignore you. You're physically there, but they will not welcome you. They will not talk to you. They will not make you feel part of the team. So that's kind of the common discrimination that I experienced, and some of my fellow non-Caucasian expressed too. So I feel them in everything, So that is the discrimination that I think is very common occurring. It's like the subtle discrimination. It's just isolating you.
Absolutely. How do you feel about the current government regarding veterans issues? Do you feel like the U.S. government is supporting you as a veteran?
I would say yes. The U.S. government. I could only speak for the healthcare, because the VA is very supportive of me. When I need some like medical attention, they right away find a way to assist me. Whether it's like medication, getting seen in the emergency room, mental health, the clinic. So that aspects, I'm very thankful of that it's available for me, and it's available for life.
In closing, is there anything else you would like to talk about?
I mean, yes, I would say, like the discrimination doesn't only happen in campus. I could speak for myself. It already happened at the beginning of my time being here in the United States. I first immigrated 27 years ago, and within those 27 years, although it improved, but nothing really have changed so much. It's still happening all over the U.S. The,
Mhm.
the only way they could discriminate you is either like if you're in your work, in your professional aspect, you'd hit what they call glass ceiling.
Mhm.
Say, okay, they recognize you're smart, you're a very hard worker because you came here as an immigrant, and immigrants are extremely hard workers, and you have a lot of potential to grow, and you could become a good leader. But in the end, they will like say, well, you could improve this, you could improve that, you could improve your public speaking, you could improve this. There's so many things to improve. Basically, what it is they're saying is like, I'm justifying it to give you a median ratings on your performance, meaning that you cannot you don't have that the other like people who are American born here that they could just get promoted as fast as they can, despite they're like not really working hard, and you work like 3 times harder than them. They will say like, oh, this, you need to improve this, you need to improve that. So you cannot even you cannot grow so fast in your professional career. So that's a form of discrimination. And within those 27 years, nothing have changed, and I still experience, and I already have like 2 master's degree,
Wow.
and I'm still experiencing that until today. And I've served my country, and I deployed in Iraq, and I'm a combat veteran, but still, I still have that, stigma.
I have one additional question. As a veteran, what is your definition of being a patriot or patriotism?
Um, Being a patriot or patriotism, the definition itself is like being loyal to a nation that you're serving. And despite that, I've experienced this discrimination here. I would still say that there's still a lot of great opportunities. And what I do is like I focus on those great opportunities and what can I better serve or better help people. And since I experienced this kind of pain and regression a bit on my professional life, if I would like let's say able to become a supervisor or like in my professional career, what can I do to help other people that's under me, and then but yet still be thankful and be loyal to the United States, and I did. There for 23 years of my life in the military. So despite of that, I'm still not saying hating America. Excuse me, please edit that. I'm not hating America, but I'm trying to still support it, and by being a good citizen and being a contributing citizen, and whatever in my power that I could affect in a goodwill, and that's what I would do. Positive way.
Okay, I think, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.